to Harriet Washington, who's written Medical Apartheid, and you also have recommendations. Talking about the issue of African-American suspicion of the medical system and the practice of experimentation moving from the United States to developing countries, to Africa.
Right. Well, in terms of African-American suspicions, there are two parts to that. There's also the untrustworthiness of the system. In terms of the exportation of research to Africa, highly problematic. A lot of the abuse in African Americans has dissipated, but that kind of research is being conducted in Africa, where people in the same situation, they don't have rights, they don't have access to medical care otherwise, and Africa is being treated as a laboratory of the West by Western researchers. Very troublesome.
You mentioned specifically the easy measles vaccine?
Yeah, that's a very good example. A vaccine that killed hundreds of children in Brazil and Africa was then used in Los Angeles on parents who had no idea that the vaccine was experimental. They were only told that their children were being vaccinated.
The Edmonton,
Zagreb, yeah. Named after the two cities where it was perfected.
Your recommendations?
My recommendations, first of all, are I'm very concerned about the erosion of informed consent in this country. We have more and more laws that are watering down informed consent. In 1996, the government decided that emergency room patients could be used in experiments without their consent. And I say we have to stop this here and abroad. We also have to institute a program of patient education. People go into medical research with no idea of what their rights are and how to protect themselves. Researchers are trained, as I was when I was at Harvard Medical School, and we have to extend the same advantage to subjects and patients. And finally, African Americans have got to take charge of this issue. We can't afford to avoid medical research now. It's too much part of treatment. But we have to learn to protect ourselves. So we have to make this an issue, as we have done with AIDS and environmental racism, and begin educating ourselves and militating for better treatment.
And what